Do you know what the funniest thing about so many men is nowadays? So many men are no longer scared of being single. They're now scared of being in a soul-sucking, detrimental relationship that's only gonna waste their time, waste their energy, waste their effort, and waste their money. They would rather be single than be in a bad relationship. So it's not that men are complaining because they're single. Men are complaining because they've just seen everything as such a waste of time for them lately.
This perfectly echoes my thoughts. I've decided to avoid relationships altogether. Men, invest in your own property and enjoy the peace and quiet. It's far more valuable than being with a woman who's been through multiple failed relationships. Women wanted independence, and men respected that. Now, many men are seeking women from other countries who maintain traditional values and principles.
I'd love for the feminists, please apply for the oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society. They're open, they're hiring, because I don't think men or women are equal until we do the equal work. Go apply to be on the oil rigs, go be a plumber, go be an electrician, go be on the front lines of the military, and then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, well, I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be, but I'm absolutely not. You you said you were a volleyball player, and so you've got more strength than I do. I don't think
but
that
I don't have more strength than the average
take
man.
Your right.
If feminists really believed in equality, I would love for you. There is an oil rig hiring. There is an engineering
I would actually love to
hiring.
see Ava Satin on an oil rig.
No, seriously. There is a building being built next to my building. Go do it, feminists.
I don't think I'm suited for that. Exactly. That's the whole point. Men and women are fundamentally different. Feminists demand equal pay, but often aren't willing to put in the same effort as men to earn it.
There's different ways to look at the data, but the big picture here is women do earn less in America because they choose to. They would rather go to their daughter's piano recital than stay all night at work working on a proposal.
What?
So they end up earning less. They're less ambitious. And I think this is sort of God's way. This is nature's way of saying women should be at home with the kids. They're happier there. They don't work all weekend. You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children.
Oh, boy. Oh,
I mean, I'm literally
You just said you're single. You don't have a boyfriend. You're what?
That's
you're
my
celibate?
choice.
Yeah, look, you're miserable. You would be so much happier with kids around you tonight. Imagine coming home, mommy's home.
You know what, Gavin? You're not funny. You're not what you do not do anything.
I'm trying to make you happy.
You do not do anything for the better. Sean, this isn't funny.
Feminism has made women miserable. Women were much happier when housewives were glorified.
Feminism has been a huge setback for women in the U.S. Women who find themselves single in their 40s often regret their decisions and can't undo the past. It's tragic. On their deathbeds, no one ever says, "I wish I had worked more."
It's very difficult to treat a problem that you just don't have.
Like what kind of problem?
Gosh, everything from sexual violence to FGM to literacy rates to everything really. Often because we often don't measure a lot of things that happen within what we consider to be the private sphere. So this year, I really want to focus on statistics and information and data collection.
What do you think is like the primary blind spot that guys have about this movement, about feminism, about doing the right thing? Just what is it that we're not seeing?
I think the word is really difficult because it seems to inherently suggest a preferential treatment of the feminine over the masculine because it has the feminine in the word, and I think that's a real oversight and a misunderstanding.
Rather than just basic fairness.
Rather than just gender, just gender equality across the board. This isn't girls are better than boys, boys are better than girls. This is just everyone deserves a fair chance at whatever it is. I think also because a lot of prejudice and certainly misogyny is so normalized, it's like it's right under people's noses. So when you raise it, there's kind of like we've dealt with that. Women got the vote ages ago. Like this isn't a thing. And then when you start to kind of unravel it for people, they go, oh, I didn't think about that, or I didn't think about this. And if I were to say I was a feminist, it would be a personal attack on you as a man, as opposed to a patriarchal system or something much larger than an individual person. I think also men think that they can't be feminists. That's a big misunderstanding. Some of the best feminists I know are men.
Why do you think they feel they can't? Like that's not masculine if you're a feminist?
Yeah, that it's not masculine if you're feminist, that only women can be feminists because it's about, again, it comes back down to that misunderstanding of
to the word. They had his feminine, so I can't be.
Yeah, so I can't touch that. That's I like to joke about the man box, which is like you can only be a man if you fulfill these certain qualities and you stay within this square of like you're in your man box and you're safe in the man box. And something about, for some men, about going near feminism is a step out of the man box.
Because they know it's just so fragile. It's just
going
to fall apart.
I know, it's going to fall apart.
They need to hold that box
identity
together.
structure, you know.
I think the men who stayed on the Titanic would have been fully supportive of feminism. So the next time a ship goes down, men and children can escape in lifeboats, while the women heroically stay behind. If we truly want equality, let's see more women taking on roles like frontline soldiers, construction workers, and oil rig laborers. One of the biggest issues in today's society is the inability to accept that men and women are inherently different. Does this mean one deserves more respect than the other? Absolutely not. We don't need to treat everyone the same, but we should treat each person as an individual. Everyone is deserving of respect until proven otherwise.
Can you name any rights men have today that women don't?
Any rights that men have that women do not? Any rights that men have that women do not? No. No.
So then what laws are feminists fighting for?
Shit, that's a good one. Shit, that's a good one.
Feminists are like soldiers who don't realize the war is over. This woman, however, has the capacity for independent thought. The propaganda hasn't fully clouded her judgment, allowing her to think for herself rather than regurgitate programmed responses.
Would you rather have a high-profile job for no pay or clean sewers for $100,000 a year?
I think a high-profile job with no pay.
I would prefer to have the high-profile job without pay.
I'm cleaning sewers for $100K, man. Ain't no shame in my game.
I'm cleaning sewers. There's no question about it.
I'm gonna clean the sewers for $100,000 a year.
I'd rather the first one.
You don't want to do the dangerous, dirty jobs.
I know.
So could that possibly be why so many women earn less money than men?
Yep.
So is that based on discrimination or based on choice?
Women know someone will always step in to take care of them when they're in need. Men, on the other hand, have to rely solely on themselves.
Wait until you hear what this guy has to say.
I love a natural woman. I love someone that's soft. I love a woman that basks in her femininity. I love a woman that loves to cook. And I love a woman who likes to love on me. You know, I like what likes me. And I'm used to women like my grandmother, my mom. They didn't wear weave and things like that.
Okay, look. They didn't have weave back in your granny days,
we're talking
for real.
about look.
I'm saying.
Let's stay on looks here.
Yeah, that's what
Look,
I love a natural
you went into
woman.
cooking. Okay, we all can cook. I mean, we better know how to cook. We gotta eat. What's your look type?
I can't, it's not a certain look.
It has to be because you're popping on weave.
I said that I don't like weave.
But we love to wear weave, honey.
Yes, and y'all wear weave for each other. Y'all don't wear weave for us. I guarantee you probably if it's 5 guys, 3 to 4 of us don't like weave. But we'll take it though because that's what y'all do. But we don't prefer that stuff. Y'all wear that to be in competition with each other.
She calls him out, yet somehow ends up playing the victim. He managed to avoid a serious problem.
You're aiming for the top 1%, but the top 1% of men ain't aiming for you. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just being honest.
There's a reason why I did that calculator.
This is the reason why women are single. Like they don't align their expectations. They look at this perfect picture and then they go, that's what I want. And it's okay. Like we all want something amazing.
We have a fantasy in mind.
Anything that doesn't fit that picture is ignored. Then you get too fucking old. And nobody wants your ass at all. Like, at all. At that point, by the time you lower your standard, you're like, hey, now I would take a fat guy that's doesn't have a college degree, makes 50 grand a year, just to not be alone.
And settle.
Yeah, and that fucking guy at that point still don't want you. So, like, that's a huge problem of, like, how social media has completely shifted, like, women's expectations. Because you really, really confuse attention with currency.
It's not like any ultrasound I've ever looked at, though.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought them.
This isn't an ultrasound.
No, this is a 9-week fetus in a petri dish.
In a petri dish? Why do you have the thing in the petri dish?
To discount misinformation that is spread about this issue, just like you do.
How did the baby get into the petri dish?
I believe these are aborted. And so this...
So you're saying that a baby that has been sucked out and dismembered looks a little bit different?
They aren't dismembered because there isn't enough of them.
So this is why I think it's really ghastly and disingenuous of you to
No, I'm
you described the baby as a human. You did. You said it's a human being.
It is a human being.
It's just really ghastly to show a picture of a person who's been killed.
And I apologize for that.
Your argument now is not that the baby looks in a way that you wouldn't expect the baby to look. Your argument is simply that abortion is permissible at this stage because the baby is very, very small and you can't see him in my photograph.
To be honest, I can't stand this guy. It's especially interesting how he criticized her for calling the fetus a human, even though he initially referred to it as a thing in a petri dish.